Hey, I'm Jenny. In this video, I'm going to go over the holiday Samhain and explain how you can connect with it and tune into the energy that's there. I have been celebrating Samhain for well over 20 years, and I think it's an extremely powerful time of year, which is why we have Halloween hanging around. Not a lot of the pagan holidays have stuck around on their actual day. But the time frame can't be denied. It's not only Samhain, but soon around there is also the Catholic All Souls Day, and it's also Day of the Dead. And on the other side of the world is Imbolc, which is another very powerful time. And what makes this time so powerful is it's a time when the veil between worlds is thin. So what that means is this is a time to connect to angels and guides. This is a time for divination, and divination means things like using tarot cards, or oracle cards, or a pendulum to see the future, to understand where you are right now. It is also a time for ancestor healing. It is a time for shadow work. It is a time for really connecting and helping loved ones cross over fully to the other side. And it's just an overall powerful day and time period. It's really like October 31st through November 2nd, around that time frame. So you have kind of a while. If you're like me and you're a parent, you're probably busy on Halloween. I'm always so tired by the time Samhain night rolls around. I usually end up doing my Samhain ritual the next day, which is totally fine. And so I wanted to just take a moment to go over some ways for you to tune in with this holiday and how to harness that energy, and some ideas also for an altar. I think my microphone's going to pick up my snoring beagle, so if you're hearing that in the background, don't worry, okay? So first I'm going to talk about crystals. The first one that's really great to work with at this time is obsidian. It's technically not a crystal, it's volcanic glass. However, obsidian is really great for drawing out negativity and also helping us face our fears and our shadows. And this is the time of year where we start to go more into darkness and go more within, and shadows and shadow work starts to appear. So if you've never heard that term before, Carl Jung is the one that really coined it. And it's the idea that whatever we ignore or are embarrassed or feel shame about ourselves and we kind of bury becomes our shadow. And when we start to dig into our shadow and fully actualize ourselves and become whole, we face that shadow and we integrate it into ourselves, so we no longer feel ashamed for who we are and what we do. And so obsidian really helps with protecting, it helps drawing out negativity, and it helps you face those shadows. So it's perfect for this time of year. And the other one is carnelian. Carnelian comes in all kinds of shades of like peachy orange and sometimes even brown. And carnelian, its strength lies in past lives and past life regression. And this is a time of year where you may start to have dreams that seem to be your life, but maybe not really your life, and it could be a past life. It's a good time to enter your Akashic records and glean information. A good time to get an Akashic records reading, or you can even do past life readings with tarot cards. And it's a good time even just to get maybe past life hypnosis or regression if that's interesting to you, because the veil, like I said, is thin. It's like the veil between our three-dimensional current world and the past and other kind of dimensions is thin. It's like so easy to cross through. And you start to feel that, I think people, some people find it scary, which is why we have the Halloween experience. But a lot of our Halloween traditions come from Samhain. The idea of wearing a mask, it was to fool the bad spirits or spirits that you had angered. You would hide from them. Or, carving a gourd or a pumpkin to scare off the evil spirits, and putting lights out to illuminate the way for the good spirits. And so a lot of our traditions, come from that. Instead of giving out candy, originally it was putting out treats for the dead, which people still do in Mexico as part of the culture of, the Day of the Dead and bringing foods and things for their loved ones. And so all of these traditions have stuck around, which to me speaks really of the power of Samhain, because a lot of the other pagan holidays have really been hidden and enmeshed or completely erased. But this one sticks around for a reason, right? And so some other ideas for tuning in on your altar are obviously pumpkins and corn, any kind of holiday or this time of year harvest. Having really leaves, real leaves, or this is a glass leaf candle holder I found at a dollar store, which was a good find. Having skulls, if you want to honor ancestors and loved ones, you could, these are cheap, they're paper mache skulls, you can make them yourself or purchase them at a craft store and decorate them for each loved one. And I also want to speak really quick on ancestors. If you are adopted or don't know your ancestry, that doesn't mean you can't do ancestor healing. And so I personally have never met my father. I have a name, but I'm not sure if that's really him. And so I don't know anything about him or his side of the family. I can still heal myself and their line. I don't have to know them personally. And so if you were adopted or put into foster care or don't have a good relationship with your family, you can still heal, because ancestry healing is really you healing and letting that spread through to your ancestors. And I have a really good meditation about that that'll be really good for Samhain, and I'll link that in the comments for you. But that's another one that people really, it's become popular to do and talk about ancestry healing. But I know that there is a part of the population that feels disconnected from that. So if you are like that, don't worry, you can still heal. And in some ways, it gives you a peace. It gives me peace to know that me healing myself is healing my father, who obviously didn't want to have anything to do with a child and had issues of his own. Me becoming a parent and healing that in my life, it feels good that I'm also sending him healing, because I feel obviously he needed it. Any kind of trauma like that, when people act off of trauma, it's really painful for the other people around them. And so that's something, really to think about. Another really great thing to do for Samhain, around Samhain, so we talked about ancestry healing, we talked about divination, and then, card readings, looking at the rest of the year for yourself. What does the rest of this year hold for me? What do I need to know at this time? What, things can I work on? Journaling, those kinds of things, Akashic records, readings and going into your records. And then praying for loved ones. The angel who helps the loved ones cross over is Archangel Azrael. Simply, praying that your loved ones are able to cross over and let go of the pain of living and be able to be at peace is a really great way to celebrate this holiday. And then very simply cutting cords, calling on Archangel Michael and asking him to cut cords between yourself and anything holding you back from the best version of yourself, and inviting that shadow work to come in, letting yourself be open to doing the work, because like I said, as we go into the darker time of the year, it's the perfect time to go inward and let yourself discover what it is you need to know at this time. So I hope this helps you. If you have questions about Samhain, please put them below and I'd be happy to answer them for you.